The following is an ESG On Location video.
So I'm here at Microsoft Ignite with about 23,000 of my closest friends, and I've really come away with two main impressions from this show. The first is I thought Microsoft had a very consistent and, in our view, appropriate message of security and trust woven throughout all of the presentations and keynotes at this event, and really that is very relevant and very timely for both IT and business decision makers in all industries today as a priority. Second, if you're an IT professional, you have to feel very good and very energized about the way that Microsoft is placing you at the center of all of this transformation and innovation that's happening in IT. At ESG, we track 6 what we call IT meta trends, including security, mobility, data center modernization, cloud, big data, application modernization. And just in the keynote alone yesterday, Microsoft checked the box and even demoed solutions in all of those areas. Advanced threat analytics for security, enterprise mobility suite for mobility, SQL Server 2016 with stretched databases for big data, Azure Stack for cloud and data center modernization, Windows 10 for application modernization. So really tying those assets together and giving the IT pro a roadmap to help be the agent of change within their organization was a big part of the messaging this week at Microsoft Ignite, and that is something that will certainly ignite their user base and get them energized.
I'm here this year at Microsoft Ignite, and it feels very different. I've attended Microsoft Tech Ed, Microsoft Management Summit, and other events that they put on. And they've really taken advantage of being able to take that IT pro that typically shows up at these events to get educated about the different Microsoft products, whether they be core Windows Server, System Center, mobility things that they're doing, Azure Cloud. But what they've done this year is they've really taken a unified message, a unified communication across everything that they've done and really turned it up to a business focus. So everything they're talking about now is really about how to turn on a more personalized experience in the business, how to take more intelligence and squeeze it out of the cloud that they're doing, and also how to take a more mobile perspective into the business as well. So they've been able to take the IT professional, be able to take more of that business view into that environment and really be able to bring it into a show like this where people can come here, they're learning different things, they're understanding what Microsoft's doing from an overall competitive perspective, and understand how they pull that all together. Microsoft this week really upped the relevance inside the data center by bringing cloud in there. So there's 2 things that really stood out from an overall awareness perspective from a lot of the attendees that we spoke to. And those 2 things are Azure Pack, so bringing that software, that experience, those tools, those services on-prem inside the data center. And also they announced something that may have come by surprise to some people, and they announced OMS, so Operations Management Suite. And what that's really doing is taking a collective of people that are using Google or Amazon, obviously Microsoft, even VMware cloud services, and bringing it underneath that umbrella of management. So those 2 things, Azure Pack and OMS, were 2 of the bigger things that stood out from an overall highlights of the show that really show how Microsoft's taking the notion of a hybrid cloud, bringing it together, and really bringing that value to all the attendees here.
So I had the opportunity last year to hear Satya Nadella lay out his vision for a Microsoft data platform. At the time, you could tell it was very much an idea, but today, we're really seeing the realization of that vision. It's very interesting to watch Microsoft take the very front end, people who come into analytics just as Excel users, and try and tease them into using Power BI and all its capabilities. Going beyond that, obviously SQL Server, one of the biggest databases in the world, continues to get better. They've added more in-memory capabilities now, overlaying analytics on top of transaction processing. They've adapted SQL Server with T-SQL and Polybase to be able to do queries together on Hadoop and a traditional relational database, recognizing there's more than one data format. And they've moved it all into the cloud. We now have Azure running the SQL services of the database, of Azure Machine Learning, of Hadoop in the cloud, and bringing these all together, really giving you a powerful, flexible platform. I particularly like the idea of a stretch database, being able to take older data, put it in the cloud, just store it there, and keep it available when you decide you do want to do analytics. It looks naturally part of the same database, but you can access it and pay for just the compute power when you need it. Otherwise, you're only paying storage. This is massive flexibility. It gives you the ability to burst and manage your environment in the cloud. Should be an easy capability for any company to add, and naturally extends into doing data warehouse as a service. And this, I really think, is the future, as people are moving from entirely on-premise or entirely in cloud to having a combined solution. It's been a very exciting show from a data management point of view, as you can tell.